Hey guys, welcome to my podcast. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the interesting recommendation by the American Diabetes Association to solve diabetes. If you look at their mission statement, it'll say that they want to prevent and cure diabetes, okay? But here's the problem. They're creating diabetes. In fact, the recommendations that they're giving out include up to 60% of the total calories being carbohydrate. Now think about it. Diabetes is a disease of high blood glucose, okay? Now why would you want to add more glucose or carbohydrate to this problem? You're going to actually, it's like putting gasoline on a flame. You're just going to fuel the fire. It's crazy. So this is what's happening. They recommend the carbohydrates. You actually then get diabetes. But that's okay because there's a medication for that, okay? There's metformin, there's insulin. But the problem is the complication from that, the side effect from that is hypoglycemia. So they're really concerned about this dangerous additional side effect, which is hypoglycemia, which is actually kind of hilarious because isn't that the point? Don't we want to lower the blood sugars? Hypoglycemia is low blood sugars. That's the point, right? I mean, it's just like, it baffles me how insane this is. So yeah, so they're trying to make sure you don't get hypoglycemia. And that's why they send their patients home with a little glucose or candy in their pocket, or these glucose tablets that you can buy at the CVS or the drug store to prevent this terrible side effect of low blood sugar because it's so dangerous, okay? Okay, so they'll recommend 6 meals a day and then candy or carbs, which guess what? That just causes more rebound effect. It will increase more insulin, create more diabetes. Crazy. And then there's a couple other side effects that I want to talk about related to diabetes in general. One is high blood pressure, okay? So when you have high insulin, you're going to get high blood pressure, okay? So diabetes is a side effect of high insulin, and so is high blood pressure, okay? But to solve that problem, you're given a diuretic. Other medications too, but a diuretic is a common treatment, a medication for high blood pressure. The problem is the side effect from diuretics is high levels of insulin. It causes insulin resistance and higher levels of insulin. Again, insane. And then they put you on a low-salt diet, which, by the way, low-salt diets contribute to insulin resistance. Boy, does it get complex. So we're trying to solve this problem with this, which then creates this problem, but we treat that side effect with this, which contributes to that problem. Oh my gosh, it keeps one big confusion for people. And then of course, we can't forget the high cholesterol side effect from high insulin, right? But that's okay because we have a statin drug that we can give you. Now, statin drugs have a side effect of also creating high insulin or insulin resistance, which again, another insanity. And of course, they're going to put you on whole healthy grains. Do you realize that whole healthy grains have a higher glycemic response? They're higher on the glycemic index than actual sugar. Yeah, it's one way to really keep the diabetes right there, right? And of course, they'll put you on a low-fat diet, which then also will increase more insulin. Because if you take low-fat proteins versus whole-fat proteins, the whole-fat protein has a much less influence on insulin. In fact, fat is the only thing that doesn't trigger insulin, and that's what they're telling you not to consume. So here's my suggestion, okay? Realize that diabetes is a disease of high sugar. High sugar is toxic. And what you want to do is find out what the American Diabetes Association is recommending and do the exact opposite, and you will be cured. All right? Well, thanks for listening in, and I will see you in the next episode.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.